Hello, I'm going to speak a little about the power of loving relationships in the healing process, in the healing from an eating disorder. What becomes very clear is that whether revealed or not, whether diagnosed or not, eating disorders find their way into the very fabric of life and human relationships, and in the way that they become the cornerstone of human connections. These diseases function as an interface between individuals, between patient and their loved ones, between children and parents, husbands and wives, between therapists and patients. The eating disorder becomes the third point in what becomes like a relational triangle between individuals. It takes up residence within the individual's core. And in this way it's dominating the inner life, the inner world. It's robbing the individual, the host, of the most precious of all relationships, that being the individual's relationship with his or her own self. And in the way that the eating disorder displaces and replaces the core personality, it takes control over life functioning of what's going on in the individual. It's in a way holding the patient hostage. It's depriving them of the emotional resiliency that's needed to solve life problems, to cope with different situations, different adversities. It deprives them of engaging in building up their confidence in opportunities that life presents, and denies them of making healthy lifestyle choices. When children that are suffering with an eating disorder fail to recover in their youthful stages, they're destined to carry this disorder with them into their adult years. And this is then going to further decrease their chances of finding and developing healthy, satisfying, healing relationships in their personal life. And since eating disorders are very much relational diseases, showing up within the context of day-to-day living, side by side with mums and dads, with siblings, loved ones, showing up in family bathrooms, around kitchen tables, rarely in doctors' offices, come to see that recovery also takes place day to day in the course of one's day-to-day life. Because realistically, eating disordered patients are really only spending maybe an hour, maybe a little more, a little less, face-to-face with health professionals during a week, and spend then the rest of the time living out their lives alongside their families and those around them in their lives at that time. So therefore it's essential for family members to pick up the gauntlet of opportunity for involvement in their child's or spouse's recovery process and to optimize it. Even though Parents, family members are not responsible for causing eating disorder. Parents, partners, siblings can enjoy the potential to become primary focus points in and primary forces in healing or preventing an eating disorder. With eating disorders, the stakes are high, and family members do risk becoming part of the problem if they don't become part of the solution. When members of the family are providing a base that's based in reality, there are loving and proactive connections between each one through authenticity, genuineness, courage, creative use of themselves. This actually provides an invaluable role modeling for the patient in recovery, who subsequently seeks to learn to do the same. In the company of the susceptibility genetic-wise, life stresses also come in and outweigh a person's developmental capacity to cope. And when the achievement of particular tasks, developmental emotional tasks, have somehow been insufficient to prepare an individual to effectively take the responsibility to problem solve and take care of themselves, then the eating disorder sets in. So by creating and restoring primary relationships with loved ones and with health professionals, the task at hand is to fill in these emotional voids that separate the afflictive individual from mature functioning, maturing as and functioning as a mature adult. Healthy human connections, both personal and professional, become a primary source of the essential life lessons that need to be taught and be learned. They provide the context through which eating disorders heal. In the therapeutic relationship, the relationship is like a caretaker of the troubled soul. It's through therapeutic change that the individual recognizes and then begins reorganizing and reshaping his or her life and themselves. Becomes this relationship between therapist and patient becomes the archetype for healthful quality relationships elsewhere in the patient's life, both within and outside of the treatment system. As a therapist, I am acting as an advocate, as a mentor for the patient and his or her family, their wider relationship system, by providing a powerful role modeling for the families of eating disordered patients, just enabling them to behave similarly in the interest of promoting healing in their child, encouraging parents and partners to become proactive supporters of their child, of their loved one, and of the recovery process that they're in. So how vital it is for there to be the presence of genuine, authentic, loving relationships in the individual that's recovering from the eating disorder in their lives, and for that to be consistent, so that there is that the individual can be inspired by, can have the opportunity to practice life skills in relationships that offer this to the individual. There's an opportunity for full recovery to come. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet up again and be speaking of other aspects of this illness, of this disease, and the ways in which it is possible to truly heal, and for there to be the reality of the true self no longer being held hostage but being released into life and given the opportunity to live a healthy, gratifying, balanced life, and sharing in that with very healing relationships. Bye for now.